Yeah. We're very excited today to submit our signatures to the Missouri Secretary of State's office. This is truly the beginning of our effort to restore democracy and transparency to our courts and give Missouri voters the opportunity to take back their courts. We've dealt with massive voter suppression efforts, frivolous lawsuits, and it's been truly amazing in our window of time how overwhelming the response from Missourians around the state. We've submitted signatures from all 9 congressional districts, well in excess of what is needed, and you can truly tell that Missourians embrace the idea of elections, do not believe that the Tom Pendergast era machine politics should govern judicial selection, and really at the end of the day believe that they should be in charge of hiring and firing their judges. And so we're very excited and pleased and exceeded our expectations. We believe in excess of 250,000 signatures. Need 158,000 qualified, and it's in the 6 of the 9 districts. Yes, I think if you look at the influence of the Missouri trial attorneys, and if you look at the greed and the power that they possess and the stranglehold over the selection process, Missouri voters are left in the back seat. We have a commission that meets in secret where wealthy trial attorneys are controlling the selection process, and Missouri voters are left in the dark. And we have really no recourse over the current judicial selection. There's no accountability, no transparency. If you put the people in charge, we will have that transparency, we will have that accountability, and Missourians can choose who they would like as their judges.
Should Missourians look at Illinois as an example of what can happen if this is passed?
I think Missourians should look at who do they think should be in charge. Greedy trial attorneys from St. Louis and Kansas City, they make millions of dollars off manipulating a process or the people. And at the end of the day, I would rather have the people in charge. In Missouri, we elect our school board members, fire district members. The Supreme Court is very, very important. If you go back over the history of our country, at one point we appointed the United States Senators. And as a state and country, we thought that was not right, and that we should elect our United States Senators. And the same basic principle is you should elect them. Our citizens should have the right. Judges are no different than anyone else that has a position of trust.
Should the court system be a partisan court system?
The court system should be held and accountable to the citizens of Missouri, and elections is the best way for the direct authority to be in the hands of the people today. So absolutely.
So it should be a partisan court system?
Absolutely, where the Missourians have the right to hire and fire whatever, and they can choose who they want to elect and why they want to elect. And hopefully judges, just like someone running for a school board or any other position, has to go out, earn the right from Missouri voters, articulate their intelligence, their capabilities, their qualifications, and let Missourians make the choice. I believe in the people of this state, and if you ask them to make decisions, they'll do the right things. We might, at times, as partisan people, we might not like the decision, but ultimately, it's better to have the people in charge than a bunch of robber barons that have a financial interest in the current process. And I don't know how anyone can say the current Missouri plan is anything but a flawed process that does not work well for the Yes, because we've had the growth of the litigation industry. I sue you, you have to go get a defense attorney. They're both making fist over money, tons of money, but that money comes at the cost of average Missourians, farmers, small business people, small entrepreneurs. There's no money tree out there. And the growth of the litigation industry has hurt this state. And if anything we can do to put the people in charge will help us tremendously. And this is just the beginning of our ongoing effort. We've received support from people all across the state, contributions as small as $10, as large as I don't know how large. And we're very pleased with the support we've received. And if anyone wants to go to ShowMeBetterCourts.org and make a contribution, we'd be more than happy to accept support, and we're fully complying with the Missouri ethics law and been trying to go above and beyond actually to disclose our contributions.
Who is the main?
We have tons of different people. I don't have reports. I'd have to look. I apologize. I've been busy petitioning over all across the state, rounding them up from people like the Gasconade Pachyderms Club and the Christian Fellowship Group down in southwest Missouri, and we've been getting them from Macon County and all across the state. So I've been pretty busy just petitioning last few days.
How much of this is the feeling that the conservative arm of Missouri's political system doesn't think the courts are giving it a fair shake?
I think this comes down to a fundamental belief of who should be in charge of the selection of Missouri judges. Should it be a commission that meets in secret, controlled by trial attorneys and political appointees, or should Missouri voters be in charge? And that is a question we're going to hopefully qualify, go on the ballot, and let Missourians decide. And to those that, and to the lawyers and the judges that like the current Pendergast system, I would say, of course they do. They make money off it, they know it. Why are they so afraid of Missouri voters? And, you know, if I'm wrong, if our ideas are wrong, we'll be resoundingly defeated come November. But I suspect with the vigorous suppression campaign that we had to overcome, that the trial attorneys know that this is a fundamental right, that people believe in adding transparency and accountability to their courts just like any other branch of government.
Would these be partisan elections?
Yes.
At all
Yes.
levels?
At all levels, and also we would reduce the terms. And here's one of the beautiful things of this proposed amendment. Right now, judges for the appellate at the appellate level get a 12-year term. Guess what? They automatically lock in a nice lucrative pension. With our reform, if Missouri voters enacted, the term would be reduced to 8 years. And that's still the longest term of any elected office in Missouri. But at least in that scenario, Missourians would have to choose to re-elect a judge before they could get a nice lucrative pension from the people.
Is that the reason why you're reducing the term?
Yes, and also they shouldn't be lifetime appointments, and I think it's 12 years you get an automatic pension. That's probably not right. I don't know too many people that are working back home in Franklin County that can just work 12 years and get a nice cushy pension. And, I think it's what, $35,000 a year for life. And people are, if you want a public tax dollar, if you want a public pension, you should have to work for it. So we're going to tell, if this is adopted, the judges, just like anyone else, would have to be re-elected to be eligible.
Aren't you really talking about a post-Pendergast system?
I think
we elected judges during the
You know what,
Pendergast
though? The
regime.
legal industry has manipulated the
Let's
current
talk
process.
history.
Sure.
You're talking post-Pendergast,
There-
not Pendergast.
Well-
Pendergast era was an elected judge.
Right, and the trial attorneys have become the modern-day Tom Pendergast. The process has been manipulated. We now select our judges through a commission of trial attorneys and political appointees who kind of decide who they like, their personal preferences, their political agenda. There's no accountability to the Missouri. Why does the current Missouri Commission meet in secret, behind closed doors? Secret government is never a good thing. We could cite time after time where, here's a good example. One of the commissioners, Nancy Mogab's law firm slogan is, "We don't collect unless you do." Mr. Gardner from Springfield, who just left the commission, he wrote a publication entitled, "How to Strip Your Opponent Naked, Make Them Beg to Pay You Money." These are the type of people that exert a tremendous amount of influence over the selection process. And I'm willing to take this conversation to Missouri voters to say, that's not right, and we should allow Missourians to elect. And if they want to elect those type of people, fine, but they might say no.
So are we going to hear this kind of rhetoric during the campaign, like greedy lawyers?
Well,
rather
I
than some kind of a rational
I
reason
think
for
trial
electing people?
attorneys that own yachts, private jets, make tens of millions of dollars off class action lawsuits are greedy people.
How many of those do we have?
We have quite a bit in St. Louis and Kansas City, and I can give you a list if you would like. And these are the people that exert influence, not just everyday citizens, not farmers, not teachers, not small business people. And the greed of a growing litigation industry is putting a stranglehold on Missouri. And the consequences of judicial activism or of this court are very easy to look at. We are in the low tier according to the United States Chamber of Commerce. If you look at the intellectual capacity by the U.S. Chambers, we're 39th. So we have such a good process, but we're 39th on our intellectual capacity. If you look at the American Tort Reform, I don't have all the details. I just read the reports. So if you look at the American, I'll give you a copy of it. But if you also look at the American Tort Reform Association, we've typically made the judicial hellhole list. The last report listed this as "Show Me Your Lawsuit State." And so if we're wanting to get Fortune 500 businesses to come to Missouri, we're wanting businesses to expand, that's not exactly a flag that says, come to Missouri, invest, build, add quality jobs. And, so we're looking forward just to continue this conversation of allowing Missourians to take back their courts and allow them to have more transparency and accountability.
This is Earl Glenn reporting for Ballotpedia.